Let's go, cat. Gotcha. Alrighty, guys. The long-awaited Serenity Hatchet PvP build for Season 7. I wanted to make this build for this season. I had footage from the past season, Season 6, but I wanted to show you guys more updated gameplay with given the healing nerf and the changes to potions and stuff. So that was more, you know, authentic, you could say. And what's also taking some time for me to put out this video is we haven't had Glacial Tarn in a while, and as I'll show you guys, Frigid Dawn is one of the sets I'll be using with this build, and I needed another piece to complete it, so that took me some time to farm that materia for the build. So jumping right into the armor, we got a Frigid Dawn heavy helmet. You put shuriken heals as the added perk, of course, because we're going to be running 5-piece shuriken heals. Featherweight, another piece of Frigid Dawn, a heavy glove. Now you can run either two of the three. So the setup is 2 heavy, 2 light, and of course you're running featherweight, right? And then I got these light legs. I managed to pick these up very cheap on the market. I mean, this is an exception to the rule, of course, but having relentless freedom on the body is so important. It gets you out of a lot of scenarios where teams would, you know, just dogpile you and hit you with the kitchen sink and so many roots, you know, the scream, tangle vines, you name it. There's so many different times I would be getting rooted immensely, and I would just relentless rush out of that and be able to reset the fight. And then for the boots, we've got Hasted Vigor on the boots with, you know, Shuriken Heals health. Hasted Vigor is a phenomenal perk. The haste, you get 10%, and it does not add to your haste cap. So you can, with Zephyr Cakes, and if you got any other form of haste like we have with Berserk on the Hatchet, it just adds on top of it, so you don't have to worry about that. And of course, and then it reduces the incoming potency of damage over time effects, reduces it by 7%, and we only have 1 piece of this, and that's all you really need. But that's the armor. So with the hatchet, this is what I'm running. I've got a Moonstone, empowered Moonstone with Pen Backstab, Plague Crits, and Keen Berserk. I really love this setup. I highly recommend it. I think it's really good. And, you know, some people go with opals in the hatchet. You know, I think running a Moonstone is huge because a lot of times your hatchet is on cooldown. Real quick, guys, one thing I forgot to mention in the video is running Moonstone on the weapon. If you use Berserk and social distancing, and then you hit the enemy with Raging Torrent, those 5 hits will proc the Moonstone on the weapon and give you that extra 17% more damage. But if you have a lot of refreshing, like if you want to, you know, change this up a bit, I totally get it. Like I always say, this is just a template to, you know, give you a good ballpark, or, you know, get your brainstorming as far as build crafting and fitting it to your playstyle, you know. So of course, the infamous Serenity, the Trenchant Strikes, Trenchant Crits, the legal perk combo with refreshing move, and then I'm running a Jasper, a frozen Jasper at that, rune glass on the weapon. I went with, you know, the gem socket as your additional perk. I highly recommend going with that instead of an attunement. Then onto the jewelry. We have Onk, of course. I put thrust protection. You could go fire protection. I just think thrust protection covers a much more vast variety of weapons than fire protection would. You can make up for it with opals or rubies. And I also run, I almost forgot, yeah, 5 opals on the gear, at least, or doesn't matter if it's on the gear or the jewelry. It's still the same, but having 5 opals and then 5 moonstones. So then we've got Privateer's Heirloom. You can pick this up in the kiln. It's very easily attainable. You can also get it from barnacles barnacles and gunpowder mutation. And it doesn't have to be the mutation, it can just be regular dungeon, and you can just use the materia from that dungeon. It's only 3,500. I ended up adding Healing Breeze to the item. Healing Breeze is amazing when you're running Shuriken heals, and also Healing Breeze procs off of your Healthy Toast as well. So when your Shuriken heals is on cooldown, sometimes your Healing Breeze will be up and ready to go. So if you keep consuming the Healthy Toast from your mana pots, you'll be able to trigger Healing Breeze on top of that to give you some more healing. And lastly, we were running Life Loop, Healthy Toast, Refreshing Toast, Regenerating. You could switch this out and go with a Healthy Toast, Healing Heart, Regenerating, because you do get a lot of ult gen. You get your Stone Form back pretty fast. Oh, that's right, I forgot. We are running Stone Form with this build, Stone Form and Mending Form at that. I use it on all my builds. As far as the attributes go, we've got 200 strength, 250 dex, 50 focus to give us even more healing, 10% incoming healing, and then of course the rest into con. When you are in light equip load, I wouldn't go more than 150 con, because honestly there isn't really much of a difference between 150 and 100, and also going to 200 con and light equip load is not worth it. That 10% increase to physical and elemental armor, you're only getting 200 more resistances, so it's not really worth it, honestly. Also, I did put 25 into intelligence. That gives you 5% damage increase to backstabs and random critical hits, so just a little bit more damage. So base damage with Serenity, we're sitting at 1,915, and then just just under 1,500 damage with the hatchet. It is so nice. So onto the skills. We've got, this is what we're running right now. So I've got two setups. You could, if you prefer throwing hatchet, or if you prefer raging torrent. With this setup, this is we're running infected throw, berserk, and social distancing. I really like this setup. I actually like both of them quite well. Torrent is really good, being up in the face, putting that pressure on. I've been liking this setup for more like fighting musket players, bow, when you get trapped a lot, because that is the meta with muskets is the throwing the traps. When I get trapped, I'll hit them with a root of my own, hit them with social distancing, and then hit them with the infected throw right after. Just boom, boom, and then hit them with a regular throwing hatchet to finish, and you'll take a good chunk of their health really quick. And then of course you'll be out of that trap by then, and then you can close the gap by doing your Relentless Rush. And then just to show you guys, this is the skill tree for running Torrent. Be sure to pause the video or take a screenshot. And lastly, onto the Greatsword. This is what I've got going on with the skill tree for the Greatsword. Relentless Rush, phenomenal perk, gives you that gap close. I'll be showing you guys here a good combo to close the gap on your opponent if they're like 3 football fields away from you. You know how these range players be. Now, of course, Steadfast, and then Roaring Rupture, and then we went with the Undying Defiance ultimate. Heal for 5% of the damage from your attacks. Attacking within 3 seconds of blocking an attack heals for 15% of the damage dealt instead. So every time you go into Defiance stance, you're gonna be blocking the whole time, so then you'll also be getting those heals. And lastly, guys, this is the move I was telling you guys about to close the gap on people that are playing from a distance. What we want to do is we hit Relentless Rush into Steadfast. Now sometimes you want to maybe dodge into Steadfast, because when you hit that Relentless Rush, they're going to want to roll. So be ready for them to roll and be patient. I find that a lot of times I will jump the gun and I will hit the relentless rush and not follow them to then hit the steadfast, because that ends up with me missing the steadfast strike and them getting away from me. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for the Serenity Hatchet PvP build video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. I've been streaming almost every day over on Twitch, twitch.tv/emandidit. Download in the description. As always guys, I'll catch y'all in the next one.